Y'all know, y'all know I be grooving. Y'all know why do I always feel like I am? You know, because I be looking at this camera instead of the. Okay, yeah. What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of One Billion Brave. How you doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What? We in there. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for gracing the doggone 1 billion brave show. Like, y'all are real ones, okay? I appreciate y'all. For the newcomers, welcome to the show. For the old timers, how y'all been? Y'all good? Y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, so let's get into the what? Oh yeah, for the newcomers, I'm your host Domo Jones. I'm your host Domo Jones. Whoop whoop. All right, so let's get into the what house rules. One, no profanity on the show. What? Y'all know. Y'all know we don't. We ain't doing none of that on this show. What? For what? Nah, we don't get down on it like that. Also, no bashing of race, religion, gender, or politics. And we're going to add in sexual preferences. That ain't my business. That's all I'm saying. And from one blood, he made all the nations. So pretty much we kinfolk. You a auntie, you a cousin, you a unc. You feel me? Y'all invited to the barbecue and tell them what I sent you. You feel me? That's just how we get down with that. Also, this show is about this show is called 1 billion brave because it represents the 1 billion people of the world that have a disability or medical condition. So this show brings awareness, information, light, conversation. You hear the shuns? Do you hear the shuns? It brings all that to the platform of asking people and sharing and having people share their stories of how they break the stigma beyond their condition. Because I'm letting y'all know now. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Y'all ready? We're dope. Our community is a dope community. I don't know why y'all think we not. Like, get you one of us in your circle. Not me, but get you one of us in your circle and you're welcome. I'm just gonna say that because once you get one of us, then you in there like swimwear is all I'm saying. Period. Period, friend. Also, we talk about Jesus Christ on this show. I don't know what y'all thought. Y'all thought we was gonna talk about somebody else? No. We talk about Jesus Christ because he's the main thing, and we're gonna keep him the main thing. That's my dog, and he should be yours too. The man, I'm gonna tell y'all this. The man is top tier. It don't get no better. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Also, y'all ready for the most important house rule? Y'all should. I mean, I'm just saying, y'all should already know by now. This show is the very first talk show that has a hostess with a disability, that has guests with disabilities or medical limitations or essential caregivers. Lady O, Tyler Perry, Mother Ellen, I'm coming to the crib. Lady O, I'm coming to the crib. All I want is a little Arizona. Then I'm gonna hop on across the street to Tyler Perry's house, or I can go to the stew. I can go to the studio, whichever one you at. Just give me your ETA, share your location real quick, fast, and in a hurry. All I want from you, Tyler Perry. I mean, can I get some gummy bears or some like fruit snacks? Like that's it. Nothing too major. I ain't asked for much. Then I'ma hop on around the corner to Mother Ellen's house, and then Mother Ellen, can I just get some red vines and maybe like a water bottle or three? That's it. I don't want much because we have so much to talk about. So we just about to get to the real important things, which are we need to talk about this business. You feel me? I need to get some of these. I need to get some of these nuggets, some of these wisdom pieces. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. All right. Those are the house rules of the day. Yo, let's get into the what? Let's get into the what? Brave heart. Let's get into the who the brave heart for the week. Yo! Prayers for Claire. Let me tell y'all, she is a brain tumor survivor. Is she not dope? Hi, Grandma. Love you. Jesus is the main thing, ain't he? She is a brain tumor survivor. Claire, can you? Ain't she dope? I mean, do you see the muscles in the arms? I thank I thank her for being courageous, one, but I also want to commend her parents for giving her and sharing with her the confidence of not letting what you deal with and your medical condition get to you, because you could tell like she about to, like, she a fierce one. Like, she about to do big things in a small world. So at Pray for Claire, um, you are the Braveheart for the week. Thank you for doing your thing. Thank you to the parents that's giving her the confidence of how she breaks the stigma beyond her condition. Claire, you all right with me? You're a real one. You're a real one. One time for the one time. All right, so let's get into the what. I'm sick of it. What's the I'm sick of it for the week? You'll never see a bigger challenge than a person with disabilities trying to do the same things that we take for granted. Child, look, let me tell you one thing for the one thing for the one time for the one time. That is so doggone true. Y'all, people that are able bodies take advantage of the things that we struggle with. Example, I'm gonna give you a real example. Getting up out the bed, or I'll give you an easier one, walking, because that is something that people typically don't think twice about. You just get up and do. But people that have disabilities or medical conditions, child, we gotta process the whole situation, and then we gotta process even if our body can or not, like if our body wants to or not, because one day it may and the other day it might. So please do not take for granted, able bodies, hear me out. Please do not take for granted the things that you can do, because there are people like us that have definitely serious challenges that you take for granted. Don't take nothing for granted. And I think that's a beautiful thing about people with disabilities and medical conditions. We don't take nothing for granted, because there are times when we can't do dot 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 whatever that is. There are so many times when we can't do. So the time that we can, we are excited and grateful for it. So able bodies, do not take for granted the small stuff. Don't take for granted the small stuff, because we will gladly, and when I say gladly, I mean gladly, we will gladly take on and not have no worries and cares about it. What? Do you know getting up out the bed without thinking about it? Taking 10, walking 10 steps and not feeling like you about to be in pain? Child, I wish. Don't take that for granted. All right, so y'all ready for my next guest? Good. All right, so my next guest, I reached out. Y'all should know me by now. You guys know most of my 98% of my guests, I reach out to them, don't even know them, but I reach out to them and I hit them up. You want to be a guest on my show? Okay, cool. And this is another prime example. So, my next guest, I was scrolling through my Facebook and I seen a picture of her and I was like, yo, she mad dope. Let me reach out. Let me slide in the DMs one time for the one time. She don't even know me. But I hit her up and I asked her if she would like to be a guest on my show. And she immediately said yeah. And I love guests like that. Like, man, I love guests like that. Now here's a doper thing about it. Is that a word? Well, we're gonna use that as a word. The dopest, there we go, dopest. All right, cool. Thank you, Domo. The dopest thing about it is I met her about 7 seconds before we just went live. Literally like 7 seconds. So the story that she's about to tell, her journey, her life, we all about to hear at the same time. And I'm about to like actually literally meet her while we live. And that's a dope thing about one being brave. Like, We don't do the regular. We unorthodox around here. We go with the flow because the host is for show for show. Bars. You welcome. All right, so let's bring up my next guest, Amber Reese. Let's go, Amber.
Everybody, thank you for having
Yeah.
me. Hi.
Welcome to 1 Billion Brave.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Nice to officially meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yo, thank you so much for answering my call, for talking to a stranger. I appreciate it so much. Appreciate it so much.
Oh, no problem. For me, this is a prayer of mine because I also am a TV show host of my own. I have my own show. It's called The Am Perspective on Soundview Community Media. So this has always been a prayer of mine to do interviews outside of me always interviewing someone. So
Right. No, I totally get that for sure. Now you got the open opportunity show. So we about to talk. All right, for sure. So for the people in the back, can you tell us where you're from and the name of your medical condition or disability?
I am from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Shout out to the 203-475.
Okay.
And my disability is spastic cerebral palsy.
Spastic cerebral palsy. So for people that don't know, including myself, can you explain like what exactly that is?
Well, basically, cerebral palsy is a disability that affects your muscle tone. Basically, there's two different types of muscle tone. One where your muscle tone can be really loose, and one where your muscle tone could be really tight, which that explains the spasticity, which is what I have, where my muscle tone is really tight.
Okay. So with that, we with that mom, with that we have that in common for sure because I have muscle spasticity and I understand to an extent of what you deal with. I man, yeah. We can relate in that. Okay, so can you give us the background? Like we want to know the story of how this all came about. How did you find out that you had a disability?
Well, basically, it all started with my mom. She basically what had happened was I was 3 when we found out. She
Mm-hmm.
happened to be at work. She was doing some type of open house or something like that. I can't really remember it because it's been so long ago and I
Mm-hmm.
haven't heard the story in a while. But basically, she brought it up, and one of her coworkers was like, "I think your daughter, may have cerebral palsy." So, on the hunt, we found the Children's Medical Center because when I was born, she was 29 weeks early. And for
Mm-hmm.
those that haven't been pregnant, that's 6 months. Basically, I wasn't fully cooked, but
Yeah.
I was ready. I was ready to come.
Yeah.
I was just like, boom, I'm here. That's always been my personality.
Right.
So basically, that happened, and then I didn't get diagnosed till I was 3, and I've been rolling and rocking ever since.
Man, so that wow, 3 years old. That's a man. That's crazy. So for you, what does like spasticity look like? What does spasticity cerebral palsy look like for you?
What spastic cerebral palsy looks like to me, it's just, even though I have this disability, I don't let that define me. Just recently, I learned how to get in and out of bed by myself. 'Cause I
Mm,
was very like codependent on people to help. When I was younger, it was my family. But now that I'm older and I live by myself, I have my aides. And one of my goals throughout the last, few years has be has been to become more independent. So now I know how to get in and out of bed by myself. I know how to get, onto my shower chair by myself.
mm,
Just it's looking very independent and just walking in my truth and not being afraid of the fact that I have this.
right.
And I just try to be a vessel to show that, even though God gave me this different ability, He's allowing me to live my life. Although sometimes there are challenges. I'm not gonna front. There's been days where I just sat up in this apartment of mine and be like, God, how am I gonna do
Right.
this? Like, I can't do this. But it's been nothing but a great journey. Even when
Yeah,
I was younger, there's always been like some type of fire in me to want to do what I can do. Even though I get easily discouraged at times, I still make it happen. So
I
that's
love
what it
that.
is.
I love that. That's good. I love that you still have that fire, and I can totally, and I feel like other people can understand where we have those days where it's like, man, I this ain't it. Like I don't have the fight. I don't want to have the fight. I'm tired of
Right.
fight. Just I don't want to die, but I don't want to do this.
I mean, I think I gotten that all out of my system basically, when I was younger. Cause my
Yeah.
mom, my brother, my sister, who also had a disability, she was mentally delayed, rest her soul. Um, my grandparents, especially my brother and my sister, they ain't sleep on your girl. My brother, I used to wrestle with my brother. I had chores. My family didn't treat me like, oh,
No different.
you don't have no disability, especially my brother. My brother was making me climb on couches. I remember I was about maybe 4 or 5, and my grandfather, he used to pick me up and he'd be like, walk, and he make me, and with him holding me, he would make me walk to my mom. So
Yeah.
it's just certain little things, they just didn't slack on, and I appreciate them for that because
Mhm.
it taught me you just like everybody else. I'm not gonna baby you. I'm not gonna. And there'd be times where they'd be like, "How you know how to do that? Oh, you know how to
Right.
do that? We running with it." So it's been very cool to be able to enhance being independent because I never would have thought I would be able to do the things that I'm doing now, like living
Mhm.
on my own and just being independent and
Yeah.
just it's a beautiful thing to see, and everybody around me is pretty happy because now it's they don't have to do as much as they used to because
They
it's
right.
like, oh, you can move. So yeah.
So for you, like, was there a fear of you being independent because you just felt like you couldn't do it, or was it you were so used to someone doing it for you, you just didn't even think you could?
I don't think it was a fear of both of either of those things. It was just, I think it was always in me. I was just afraid to just try. And another thing is, I ain't gonna front no more. I'm kind of lazy. It'd be like, girl, if you can do it for me, by all means. I ain't gotta lift a
Help
leg.
yourself.
I ain't gotta do nothing. By all means, you want to do it? By
Right.
all means. So it'd be like, oh, you know how to. I remember when I was in the 7th grade, and my aide who I had at the time, her name was Miss Kenya. I remember I lied to her and told her I couldn't do certain stuff because I didn't want to be independent. And then when the physical therapist, because if growing up we had to have PPT meetings. So
Yeah.
before you have the PPT meetings, they want to know all the goals that you had set for yourself. It's like, is she opening her food by herself? And Miss Kenny is like, no, she's not doing any of that. But thank God I was sick that day because Jesus definitely saved my life that day. Because I was gonna be in the hot seat, honey. I was
Oh
like,
my
she's
god.
like, why'd you lie to me? It's like, because I didn't want you to know that I could be independent.
Oh,
Like,
that is
yo,
hilarious.
independent was not what I was screaming when I was younger. It's just like, if you could do it for me, can we make that happen?
I'm not gonna stop you. Go right ahead. I am not. That is so
Yeah,
funny.
that's how
Oh man.
I was younger. It's just like it was just pure laziness. It wasn't that I
Yeah.
had a fear. It was just like, well, if you got it, then you know. But it wasn't until I started, as I got older, it's like, okay, you gotta think like my my brother would always tell me, learn how to navigate through life while somebody's here with you, because one day nobody's gonna be there to help you. So it was just like it was just a burning desire of wanting to do stuff on my own and not have to wait for nobody. Let's
Wow.
just say if I fall, I could pick myself back up and put myself up in the chair, which is that's something I just learned like a few days ago.
Wow.
I was in that situation. So it's like my mind is always like that. And I love
Yeah.
the fact that I'm independent now, because it's like I could put my own self in the bed. I can stay up,
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta wait. I ain't gotta wait for
Yes.
nobody to come put me in the bed, take me out the bed. So it's been a beautiful experience just growing and learning how to do all that. So
I
I'm
think that is so dope because it's like we we get when we get that fire, that push to want to be independent, it's almost like, dang, well, what else can I do? You get so
It's like,
excited. You get so excited about learning new stuff that you can do. You're just like, well, what else? Well, dang, if I did
yeah,
that, what
yeah,
else? What else? Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
super.
It's just like when I learned how to catch the city bus when I was 21. I literally, I'm not even gonna hold you. When I first moved into my apartment, it took me 5 months just to figure out where the apartment was, because it was like I would always go past the apartment building and go straight ahead down to where the school is, because I live next door to, like, junior high,
Oh
kindergarten
yeah, yeah, yeah,
school, and then there's a high school like right across the street. And so I would always go down to, like, like the, I guess you could say, elementary, junior high
hmm
school. So it's like they'd be like, "Where you going?" And I just be like, "Oh, my bad, I forgot to
right.
make the turn to the apartment building." So, and just catching the bus, that was a fear in itself. But I had my aide with me. She would thug it out with me, and we
Yeah,
go. And eventually one day we went to the mall, and she was like, "I'm gonna have to leave." She's like, "You sure you gonna be okay by yourself?" I said, I think I can do it.
right.
And, because my mom at the time, she was living with me. So what she would have to do is, if I would catch the bus to go home, she would have to meet me at the bus stop, and we would have to walk all the way down to the
Oh,
building. Well, this one day she was like, "I ain't going down there. Just go straight down. You know where the
you
building is."
figured it out,
So
right?
I was just like, when I got, because I was nervous. Like, I kind of was like, "Mommy, I don't think I could do it." And
Yeah,
they were like, "Just do it. Just go for it. You got it." And eventually,
you got it.
I made my way home, and I remember crying. I remember just being happy. And then from there, it's like you couldn't tell me nothing. I was going to the
Right.
mall. I was going, to my ex boyfriend's house at the time. Because it was just fun. And if it's close enough, I like to ride my chair.
Yeah.
So it's like it was just like, give me more. And then the whole transferring myself and things like that, that's just a whole nother evolution of being independent. So
No, I love that. So you, like you said, you have a chair. So do you use is your chair your only source, or do you use it certain times when you just need it?
I use my power chair when I have to go outside, or let's say if I'm washing clothes, because it's quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But I mainly like to use my manual chair, which is what I call the hoopty. So, I I like to use my manual chair, when I'm inside the house and when I'm outside, or if I have to wash clothes or doing a certain task
Yeah.
that it needs quickness. I use my chair midnight, which is, yes, I name everything.
I'm
So,
glad because I always ask any of my guests that have medical accessories, do they name them? So I'm so glad that you said that.
yes, I name everything down to my laptop. So it's crazy. I have a bad habit of it. I've
It's
been
okay. I love
yeah.
it. I
So
love I
yeah.
absolutely love it. So, like you said, you're living by yourself, which is super dope. I'm super grateful and I'm super glad that you're independent like that. So, in your place, in your space, do you have certain accessibility? Do you have certain things that you use that are made to help you get around?
Like I said, it's basically just my wheelchair. Um, the my bathroom, I have bars and things like that, but the cabinets, even though they say the apartment is accessible, it's just spacious. But the cabinets are not like the pull down cabinets like
Mm-hmm.
what you would use for like veterans that have been in the service or anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. Okay.
But I do have an elevator, um, things like that. But mainly if I need something up high, if I could reach it, cause you see my arms are long enough, which I'm
Yeah,
grateful for these long arms. So shout out to my mom, cause definitely long arms and long fingers, they help.
they
But
have.
if I need help, I have my aides. If they're getting ready to leave, it's like, oh, could you put this down here so
Real
it's close
quick,
enough
right?
to me? So it's all just a matter of communication
Yeah,
and just letting know what you need before they leave, while they're here. And I try to be as help as possible. Like even if
yeah.
they putting clothes in the washing machine, it's like I can take them out.
Right,
I can, bring it upstairs. You just fold it up. I'll put them
right.
away. It's that type of thing, and I love it for them because, like I said, it lightens their load a little bit. 'Cause,
I love that. I think that's so super dope. So for those that don't know, or maybe kind of confused, can you tell them what an aid is?
well, a PCA, your assistant, whatever you like to call it, to each its own.
Hmm.
It is basically someone that helps you with your everyday life. Things that you may need, like bathing,
Hmm.
helping getting you in and out of clothes. Dressing, undressing, feeding, preparing meals, etc. Like whatever you need, they're there. But
So for
for me,
yeah,
I've had my staff for 9 years, so not only are they aides, but they're like family.
right.
So it's like they help me through everything. They done seen the highs of the highs, the lows of the
Low, low, low.
lows. They encourage me. It's a beautiful thing to see, and I'm just grateful for them and everything that they do because I know I can be a lot. And it ain't no secret, but they love it here. 'Cause
Right. They still deal with you. They love it
they
here.
love it here. I know sometimes they want to hang me from a tree, but they love it here.
I mean, they ain't going nowhere. They my riders. They your riders.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
I think that's super dope. Although that you're independent and you're learning even more of your independency, you also are aware and are comfortable with having aids, and they also giving you some independency. I think that's dope too.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, the journey hasn't been easy of me wanting to be independent because yes, like I said, I am very lazy and I do get easily discouraged. But God is working on me.
Yes.
He's working because he's a waymaker. But I mean, I just like I said. I'm not the same Amber that I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. I definitely see a change
Yeah.
within myself. And being that I'm approaching 30, I'm knocking on 30 door. It was about time for a change. And so this is, what I've been praying for. It was always one of my prayers to just be more independent and to just have more of a strength for myself. And I think this has taught me to get to know myself even more, get closer to God and everything. So
I think that's super dope. And I love that you're taking that chance because a lot of people, I'm gonna tell you, like living with a disability or having a medical condition, it's hard to sometimes find that push. Like it's not easy because we already have a
right.
disadvantage. So we have to find a reason to want to live, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's beautiful that you found that reason and you're still choosing to live.
Yeah.
Like that's dope.
Not only that, a person who really taught me that, having a disability, you have your ups and your downs, but you persevere regardless. I have to give it to my sister, who passed away, almost 3 years ago this month. So, she definitely was, my hero.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
Sorry.
at times, because there was a 9 years difference between her and I. So growing up, we were kind of always at
You
each
know,
other,
bumping heads a
but
little bit.
yes, but when it came, I was there for her. She was there for me, and she, no matter what, she could be sick as a dog because she used to have seizures too. She was
Mm,
developmentally delayed, but she could be sick as a dog, having headaches or just not in the mood. But she would still show up to school and work. She still
mm,
did what she had to do, and you know, when she was around, I really didn't understand the impact that she had, but now I understand that it was nobody but God.
yeah.
Just her strength, just the things that she's gone through, we've gone through being, young girls and young women
Hmm.
having a disability. She just taught me the blueprint.
Yeah.
I was just a student. I
Yeah.
didn't understand it at the time. He was like, "Oh, she's just my sister. Oh, she's just annoying." But it's
Right.
like now I understand that her impact was left for me to pick up. And so this year, I really just, tapped into that. So,
I love that. I That's so beautiful because you never know the impact that people play in your life for your future. Like you said, when you guys were growing up, when you were dealing with your medical issues, when she was dealing with hers, and when you guys, had your little run-ins or whatever, you didn't realize what that was doing for you now, like how much that impacted your now and how much you needed that for now, because now that's helping you even grow and groom into a better Amber that you were, like you said, 2 3 years ago.
yeah. So, I mean, for me, just watching her, she was a fighter. I was a fighter. When I was born, I was only 3 pounds and a quarter ounce. Didn't leave the hospital till I was 6 pounds.
Wow.
Um, you know, and my mom, the mask, the CPAP. She
Uh-huh.
said, one day when she came up to the hospital and the doctor that was in the room at the time, she said she didn't take the mask out. That's why we had to take the CPAP out of her. So they put the one with the tape. And my mom would go, she a fighter. She like, you just, it's like
You just
she
know.
I mean, if she was here, she could tell you the birth story, how the way she tell it. I mean, she sound like Mufasa when she tell it. I can't tell it like how the way she tell it, but you know, just hearing certain things that I would do, or she said sometimes when she would lean down in the incubator and say something to me, that the monitor they would go off. But
Really?
you know, she would say, I guess that was my way of letting her know, like, I hear you, mommy. Like, I
Yeah,
got this.
exactly.
I'm gonna be
Where?
out of here.
Right. I
So,
ain't here.
and just from my birth alone, and just, I mean, having cerebral palsy, it's been tough. Like, my journey, I've had 4 surgeries, you know, 4 eye, yeah, 4 eye surgeries and 1 tendon surgery where they lengthen your tendons to straighten out your leg,
Wow.
where they loosen the tendons. So I had my first eye surgery at 11 months, and my last one, you know, at 22. So it hasn't been easy, but you know, I'm grateful for that journey, for
Hmm.
everything, just because I wasn't supposed to be here.
Right.
They were telling my, you know, the doctors were telling my mom I was gonna be profusely deaf. I was gonna be blind. You know, I wasn't meant to be here. You know, as they told me, they said the devil had other plans, but you know, God prevailed, and
That's like, no, she ain't done. And she about to be
it's
even
like,
I thought.
and the crazy thing is, I started talking when I was 3, and I was, you know, my family would say I haven't shut up since. So I mean, it's just it's beautiful. I just,
Yeah.
even just looking at little pictures and just, you know, reminiscing, like, you know, being in school, because teachers loved the heck out of me.
Hmm.
I mean, what kindergartner you know is doing the introduction to Rosie O'Donnell? I'm only 4, okay? I'm only
Right.
4, but I'm in there just like, you know, doing the intro to Rosie O'Donnell. And they would ask my mom, be like, does she watch the Rosie O'Donnell show in the morning? And she was like, yeah, well, she watches it with her grandmother because we watch the news in the morning
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
comes on after. If you grew up in the 90s, then you know. But it's
Exactly.
like, just my energy was just meant to be front and center. It's like, ooh, I'm right here. Like, I was the student that was always getting student of the month. I was always, you know, cool with teachers. I always did my work. Well, we ain't have no choice, because if mama
Right.
got that call,
Right.
you best believe. So we knew not to act up in the Reese
Right.
household.
Don't do that. Don't go that far. Don't go
So
that.
we knew not to act up, but I mean, it's been a beautiful process of seeing me grow, seeing me go through hardships,
Yeah.
and just, but I have my moments where I get down, and you know, but I just remember, you know, God is always in the midst, and
Exactly.
if it wasn't for Him, you know, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So
Exactly. That's so true. I love that. I love first of all, I love your personality. And you're super dope. And I've been cracking up over here. And I've also been like, dang, that's so oh, where'd she go? No. Where is she? Okay, we back.
sorry about that. I was getting a call. Sorry.
No, you good, you good, you good. No, I love your personality and I love the fact that you're so high spirited. I think that's super, super dope. So speaking of your personality, we gotta get into your show. Like, tell us about it. What's the name of it?
Okay, so it's called The Earn Perspective, and it basically, I interview like yourself. I interview people with different abilities, and um, I just basically, it all came about because a friend of mine, shout out to my friend Freddie,
Whoop, whoop.
he was like, man, you got it. Cause I used to do a show on Instagram and I used to go live and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he's one of my episodes, he happened to come on, and he saw it and he's like, "You got it. You got it." He was like, "You can have your own show." So he spoke to his boss at the time because he had a show at the same studio 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and he spoke to his boss, and then from there the Ant Perspective was born. And I was just like, I want to be able to have people on, whether they're able-bodied, whether they have a different ability, to share their story and to share their journey with others, because you never know who you can encourage.
Right.
And if you really want me to go back further, my whole journey in, the showbiz world, or whatever you want to call it, didn't start until about 5 years ago, when I met this young woman named Ebony P. Jones. Shout out to Ebony. She basically, I saw one of her videos and I reached out to her and I said, "Thank you for being a pillar for the differently able community." And she was like, "You could do that too." I said, "Who, me?" I said, "Me? Like little old me?" This
Right.
this person right here, who only had at the time 135 friends on Facebook, it was just minding her own business in her own little corner in my Brandy voice.
Right, right, right.
And I was just like, "Okay, like, thank you." And then the next day from there, she said, "God told me to reach out to you and give you my number." And I took her number down 'cause she gave me her number.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Would you be a blogger for my website?" And I used to write for her website. And then
Mm-hmm.
from there, I got into Fashion No Boundaries with this other lady, Miss Octavia Page. Shout out to Miss Octavia. And it basically was a fashion brand for people at different abilities, because she has a son who has different abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And she came up with adaptable clothing, and we,
Oh, nice.
some other, some myself and some other young adults with different abilities, we was vlogging, like doing videos for the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So once I saw that, okay, you got this. Not that I wasn't a natural in front of the camera, because if you ask my family, I was always the one cheesing, posing. Me and my brother just going crazy in front of the camera. So it was always in me, and I
Right.
was always a talker. So it was like, yeah, you got it. So it was like, I had to do what I had to do. And then when my friend Freddie came to me with the show, it's like, "Would you do it?"
It was inevitable. That's so dope.
I was like, "You want me?" I was like, "Of
love it.
course." Like, if it means I get camera time. Now that don't mean I was nervous. I was nervous, but it's been fun. The journey has been fun. Doing, because I do have a YouTube channel, because I started that about three 3 years ago, but I really didn't start getting serious until 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a YouTube channel, Goddess Has Spoken TV. If you want to check it out, guys, you can check it out.
God just has spoken TV. You already know, Amber.
So
Thank you.
for me, it's been a hell of a journey. I'm just grateful for the people that recognized my potential and saw something in me, because now I understand that it is important to get into what you were called to do.
Right.
And, Ebony helped me see that. You
Yeah.
know, Freddie, helped me see that you have something great to give to this world. Your personality is just chef's kiss. Now,
I love that.
but, you know, like I said, every day hasn't been perfect. There's been days where I'm like, can I do this? Am I cut out for this? Was I meant to do it? But when I really get in my zone, I'm in my zone, and it's beautiful. So
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Amber, for gracing the stage. I appreciate it so much. I think your story
you're
is
welcome.
amazing, and you already know I'm rocking with you till the wheels fall off for sure. For
Thank
sure.
you. As in my I mean, watching your show, I'm just like, how, like, your personality is just everything, and I love how you just incorporate. It's like a gumbo. It's like a mixture of people, as do I, and it's cool to just see somebody in the differently able community just doing their thing and rocking, and
Right.
showing love to others. And I'm appreciative of you having me on the show, and just keep doing you, girl, because I love to see it.
Thank
And
you.
not only that, you represent God. So who wouldn't want to see representation of somebody young, you
Right.
know, representing God, because we don't have that. And I think that's what, drew me to, like, Ebony, because, like, you're young, you represent God to the fullest, and you keep him first in everything you do. And I think through that, it showed me that you can also have a disability but still be on fire for God, and
Exactly.
still
So
and still
true.
give him all the glory, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here. So
No, I totally agree. I definitely agree. Without him, we are nothing. For sure, for sure, for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Thank you again so much for gracing the stage. Gabe's gonna put you in the background. We about to end this show and we out. Thank you. Love you.
bye, guys.
Yo, I told y'all. I be trying to warn y'all that my shows and my guests are dope. Y'all gonna get it. I told y'all Amber's amazing, right? And you can tell her personality. This is what she does. And I'm grateful that she graced the stage. I appreciate it so much. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all already know I love y'all to the fullest, and that is no cap. I love y'all. Thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys for taking your time out for coming on the show. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for sharing. Thank y'all. I'm gonna say it every episode because I appreciate it and I don't take it lightly. All right, so let's get into the what church announcements. All right, so if you have a disability or medical condition, or you are essential caregiver and you want to be a guest on the show, or you know somebody that want to be a guest on the show, holla at me. Y'all already know. Find me, okay? Find me. Now, don't be saying your elbow hurting. Don't be saying your big toe hurt. I need some real deal stories, all right? Also, next Thursday, you already know, we in it like swimwear, 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. We live and in living color. Mm, what in living color. All right, yeah. I love y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't log off though, because y'all already know y'all got to see the sponsors. Gabe, get me out of here. Love y'all.